thinkers, and Kansas City leaders. There you go. As I call your names, would past Yates Medallion honorees please stand to be recognized? We will hold our applause until all have been introduced. Alvin Brooks, John Dillingham, Sue Ellen Freed, Patty Garney, Anita Gorman, Barbara Nelson, Sarah Rowland, Dub Steincross, Frank White, Joan Israelite. Thank you all for making this a vibrant community we're proud to call home. We have much to celebrate on the Hill as we begin our 169th academic year. As we strive to demonstrate our indispensableness as Kansas City's critical thinking college, we are joined by supporters who believe in our mission of asking reflective questions, applying critical thought, and acting with purpose. This is why donors and close friends have stepped forward to fund key enrollment health initiatives over the past several months, including the renovation of our flagship first-year residence, Mathis Hall, as well as its beautiful interior gathering space, the Shirley J. Pryor Student Commons, which we like to call Shirley's Temple around here. We also are grateful to our trustees and friends who have given in support of Access scholarships, designed to facilitate opportunities for low-income students to attend William Jewell, and our robust marketing initiative, which is linking our critical thinking curriculum with impressive outcomes, such as our 99.6% placement rate of graduating seniors, the majority of whom will live and work in Kansas City. Today, we devote our fall convocation to celebrating civic engagement as the hallmark of critical thinking and acting with purpose. William Jewell is proud to honor two individuals whose service to our larger civic arena has been nothing short of profound, and also to celebrate the contributions of our speaker, who has devoted his professional career to advancing civic engagement in service of our city. Jewell is a committed partner to civic organizations, including those close to campus, such as the Liberty Chamber of Commerce and the Liberty Economic Development Council, as well as those serving our Kansas City region, the Mid-America Regional Council, the Greater Kansas City Chamber of Commerce, the Kansas City Area Development Council, and the Civic Council's KC Rising initiative. We are pleased to have the president of the Kansas City Chamber, Joe Reardon, and the co-chair of KC Rising, Sandra Price, to join us on the stage this morning to celebrate our honorees and their contributions to securing Kansas City's future. As we look toward that bright future, we know that establishing new programs, such as our data science and civil engineering programs, positions Jewell to fuel workforce development needs that we know are crucial to a thriving Kansas City. However, we also are reminded that Jewell's unique educational achievement, that each of our graduates is an engaged critical thinker, transcends disciplines or skill sets. Our critical thinking graduates are able to adapt, create, communicate, and problem solve within any industry, which makes Jewell alumni the most sought-after employees in the region and crucial to fulfilling the vibrant future of this city that we all love. Our Board of Trustees represent the Kansas City region we serve, and accordingly, they challenge us to be our best and maintain high-quality experiences for all students. The trustees provide leadership and vision and make strong personal commitments to Kansas City's critical thinking college. And so I would like to introduce those trustees who are with us here this morning. As I call your name, trustees, please stand. Gary Barnes, Susan Chambers, Keith Pence, Pat McCown, Sarah Rowland, Joy Steincross, and Buzz Willard. Thank you all for being here today. Now I invite you to reflect on the beginning of our new year as our talented concert choir performs under the direction of Dr. Anthony Maglione, Director of Choral Studies. Susan leaned over and she said, "Did they do that in just 2 weeks of school? That's pretty remarkable." That was transporting. Thank you so much. Part of what makes the Jewell experience enriching for our students is its location in a thriving city. Here to help us celebrate William Jewell's long relationship with the Liberty community is our mayor and alumnus, Lyndall Breton.
Well, thank you, Dr. McLeod-Walls, for that nice introduction and welcome to the trustees, faculty, students, Yates Medallion honorees, the entire William Jewell family and guests. I'm Lyndall Brenton, the mayor, as you've heard. I'm pleased and honored to bring you 3 salutations on behalf of the City of Liberty. Greetings, best wishes, and a thank you. Greetings from a community proud of a long-standing relationship and bond with William Jewell College. For 169 years, since the founding of William Jewell in 1849, the city and college have grown and prospered together. Best wishes for another successful academic year filled with personal and professional growth on an outstanding campus of achievement, personifying the philosophy of critical thinkers in community pursuing meaningful lives. And thank you for being part of the William Jewell family, for coming to Liberty to build upon the rich history and legacy the college and the city share. I invite you to become involved in the community, and when appropriate, consider making this your permanent home. Cardinal red runs deep here in Liberty. My wife, Roxanne Davis Brenton, class of '76, and I are proud to call Liberty our home, and we are equally proud to have been graduates of William Jewell College. The 2 Liberty mayors that preceded me, the Honorable Greg Knutson, class of '89, and the Honorable Bob Steinkamp, class of '67, are also graduates of William Jewell College. The quality of life in the Liberty community, this region, our state, and throughout the nation is greatly enriched by William Jewell College. Enriched by the culture defined, instilled, and constantly nurtured by the trustees and faculty of this institution. As witnessed by the achievements of students, faculty, alumni, and the Yates Medallion honorees. We are challenged to continue building the legacy of excellence, vision, and leadership for which Jewell and the City of Liberty are known. So on this special occasion, let us not take for granted the grace bestowed upon each of us that has delivered us to this moment. Rather, let each of us find a quiet, reflective moment on this opening convocation day to give thanksgiving for the past that has delivered each of us to this moment. Celebrate the blessings of the achievements honored here today, and pray gratefully for the bright futures of William Jewell College and the Liberty community. May God bless us all.
Honored this morning to recognize the William Jewell College faculty, a distinguished body of scholars who have chosen a most honorable profession and are dedicated to inspiring lifelong learners. I would like to introduce several new colleagues who have joined the faculty this August. As I call their names, I would like each to stand and remain standing. Dr. Jared Bartels, Assistant Professor of Psychological Science. Dr. Nathan Judd, Assistant Professor of Biology. And Ms. Deborah Penrod, Instructor of Nursing. Please join me in welcoming these new members of the faculty. I now would like to recognize 2 educators amongst this esteemed group. Since 1992, the college has awarded the Carl F. Willard Distinguished Teacher Award, which annually recognizes a faculty member of outstanding service in the classroom. This year's recipient is Dr. Donna Newhouse Gardner, Professor of Education and Department Chair. As a part of her award, she will present a lecture on campus this fall. Dr. Gardner, we are proud of your dedication to preparing the next generation of educators and for modeling excellence in teaching for the rest of us. Will you please stand for our recognition? I would also like to acknowledge the 2017-18 Advisor of the Year. With the many responsibilities of faculty members, there is none more important than caring for the student and guiding each one along the college journey. Our Advisor of the Year recipient is Chris McCulloch, Assistant Professor of Accounting. Chris, thank you for the investment you make in Jewell students. Would you please stand to be recognized? Now, would the entire faculty please stand and face the student body? Representing the heart of this institution, the faculty members standing before you comprise a community of scholars who are dedicated to their students and profession and who embody the values of this institution. Students, in this academic year, we pledge to challenge you intellectually so that you can become more capable thinkers, communicators, problem solvers, and leaders in a world awaiting you. Please join me in recognizing the faculty of William Jewell College.
Since 1980, William Jewell has recognized Kansas Cityans who make this a great community through selfless leadership and service. Today, we honor two servant leaders who have made their own mark in the community and are worthy role models for the entirety of the Jewell student body. We begin the recognition of our honorees with Karen Daniel, to be presented by Joe Reardon, President and CEO of the Greater Kansas City Chamber of Commerce.
Good morning. Standing in honor of Karen Daniel this morning are two of her guests, her aunt, Doris Wyatt, and her sister, Felicia Gines. Karen Daniel, recently retired, was a former member of the Board of Directors and Chief Financial Officer of Black & Veatch, as well as President of Black & Veatch's Global Finance and Technical Solutions Division. In her role as CFO, she was responsible for leading the company's global financial operations and global IT organization. Earlier in her career, Karen spent 11 years with Pete Marwick, later KPMG, rising to Senior Audit Manager. Finance came naturally to Karen. As a child, she could tally the total of her mom's grocery shopping long before the checkout person even finished. And one of her favorite childhood toys was a little red cash register. She serves on numerous public and philanthropic boards, including her service in 2017 as chair of the Greater Kansas City Chamber Board of Directors. She provides ongoing support to our executive committee, as well as other ad hoc chamber committees. Karen, her leadership has been instrumental at the chamber while she was chair. She led our work on a new strategic plan during her term, and if that wasn't enough, as chair, she worked tirelessly on our effort to build a new single-terminal airport at KCI. That same dedication was used while she was working towards a renovated Liberty Memorial. Plus, she has an amazingly great sense of humor. Karen also serves on other boards, including Snap-on, Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City, Northwest Missouri State Foundation, and Commerce Bank chairs. She also served on President Obama's advisory board on doing business in Africa. She graduated from Northwest Missouri State University and received her master's degree in accounting from the University of Missouri, Kansas City. And I will tell you, never let her catch you saying anything bad about her Bearcats. Dr. McLeod-Walls, on behalf of the William Jewell College Board of Trustees, I am pleased to present Ms. Karen L. Daniel for the William F. Yates Medallion for Distinguished Service.
Recognizing Honoree Jewell Scott is Sandra Price, an active community servant and former Senior Vice President at Sprint Corporation.
Well, good morning. It is my great pleasure today to recognize Jewell Scott. And standing with Jewell Scott to celebrate in her honor is her wonderful sister-in-law, Marcia Scott. Until her retirement this summer, Jewell served 29 years with the Civic Council of Greater Kansas City, a membership organization of CEOs of regional companies. Jewell worked with business and civic leaders to create and implement many significant initiatives, ranging from the Kansas City Area Life Sciences Institute, now known as BioNexus KC, to a strategic plan for the redevelopment of downtown Kansas City, Missouri. Most recently, she was at the forefront of the KC Rising Metropolitan Economic Growth Initiative. Jewell's work in support of education and school funding in the state of Missouri led to her appointment to the steering committee of the Education Commission of the states. She also served on task forces and commissions on higher education, STEM education, and transportation. Jewell's honors include election as a Fellow of the National Academy of Public Administration and a 2018 Regional Leadership Award from the Mid-America Regional Council. Jewell holds a bachelor's degree in journalism and a master's degree in public administration from the University of Kansas. Perhaps most importantly, like this institution, Jewell develops leaders. She challenges all of us to bring our best skills and abilities to the table and to solve problems together. Jewell is masterful at collaboration and consensus building. She's witty, she's articulate, she's a consummate listener, and a lifelong learner. She is indeed a good and dear friend. Jewell has made a profound difference in our community, and she will continue to do so in the years to come. Thank you, Jewell, for your outstanding contributions to this wonderful region that we all call home. Dr. McLeod-Walls, on behalf of the William Jewell College Board of Trustees, I am pleased and honored to present Ms. Jewell D. Scott for the William F. Yates Medallion for Distinguished Service.
I am so excited that we have the chance to honor these two remarkable women. Jewell and Karen, would you stand one more time so that we can congratulate you and thank you for your Congratulations to both of you. It's truly my honor today to introduce our speaker, David Warm. David has a special connection with Jewell and with the Liberty community as a former city administrator and as a proud parent of a Jewell alumna. His daughter, Anna Warm, is a graduate of Jewell's Oxbridge Honors Program, and she also holds a master's degree from the London School of Economics and is pursuing an MBA from the London School of Business, I think you shared, David. We're really proud of her. For the past 28 years, David has embraced his calling to public service as the Executive Director of Mid-America Regional Council. This nonprofit association serves 119 cities on both sides of the state line, addressing worthwhile initiatives such as transportation, aging, community service, education, workforce development, and emergency management. Through David's leadership, the Council promotes cooperation across community boundaries and develops initiatives and innovative solutions to make Greater Kansas City a stronger and more sustainable community for all of us, as well as for future generations. The impact of David's work has been recognized regionally and nationally, with awards from organizations such as the National Association of Regional Councils, the National Academy of Public Administration, and the American Society of Public Administration. His involvement extends to civic and professional groups as a board member of the Hall Family Foundation, Park University, KC Scholars, Prep KC, Kansas City Design Center, and National Academy of Public Administration. As we applaud civic service today in this celebration of our Yates medalists, we are thrilled to have a speaker who lives out the same values in his personal and professional life. Please join me in welcoming David Warm.
Thank you, Dr. McLeod-Walls. I am very, very honored to be here today. I, as you heard, have been following this campus for over 3 decades, and I have deep respect for the people of this institution and this town. I'm especially pleased to be here today as you honor Jewell Scott and Karen Daniel, who are perfect examples of extraordinary civic leadership, which is what I've been asked to talk about today. I'm here today with my wife, Julie, and standing in front of you today reminds me of when we sent our daughter off to college here at Jewell. And about a week before she left, I was out of town. She called me on my cell phone, and she made small talk for a bit, and then suddenly, in a very small voice, she says, "Dad, are you going to miss me when I'm gone?" And then she starts crying, and she says, "I don't want to leave. I don't want anything to change, but I would like a later curfew." But the amazing part of this story, and this is a true story, this outpouring came from the same young woman who 1 week earlier stormed out of the house, slammed the door, and yelled behind her, over her shoulder, "I can't wait to get out of this house." She was ready to go. Goodness knows we were ready for her to go. But she wasn't ready to let go until she knew what she was going to grab onto. And what she grabbed onto was this place. She grabbed onto professors and peers and programs and a community, frankly, that were truly transformative. And I suspect that some of you today have a similar angst. Some of you are brand new students, still nervous about how you're going to succeed here. Others of you are staring down your last year at Jewell and wondering about an uncertain future. Many of you are leaders and educators at a time in our history when the pressures on higher education have never seemed so urgent and existential. And when we face an uncertain future, it is hard to let go of what we know, what has worked until now, until we can gain more confidence in what we're going to grab onto next. It is a bit like a trapeze act. We're at that moment where we're suspended in midair and it's just not clear the bar is going to arrive in time. Well, what I hope to get across today is that this college is building the skills that you need as leaders and that we need as a community to leap with confidence into our future. William Jewell College is building the skills to navigate an uncharted future. 2, you are building the capacity to lead at the intersection of thinking and doing. And 3, you are building the personal and community attributes critical to success. And I want to address these 3 points in the spirit of this opening convocation, this back-to-school event. So I'm going to follow a time-honored academic tradition and share with you what I did over summer vacation. It was not a riveting summer, but one interesting thing I did was to join a strategic planning process for the church our family attends. The process included asking the entire congregation to read a book by Todd Bolsinger titled Canoeing the Mountains, in which uses the Lewis and Clark expedition as a metaphor for how to think about the leadership challenges facing the church in modern society. You all know the basic story. In 1804, President Thomas Jefferson commissioned the Corps of Discovery, which camped not too far from here, to explore the Missouri River and to find out the most practical waterway to the Pacific Ocean, which everyone assumed was there. But instead of a navigable river, Lewis and Clark encountered the Rocky Mountains. They expected some mountains, like the mountains they knew, the Appalachians behind them, but instead, as one journal read, they were the most terrible mountains I ever beheld. They suddenly realized that their plans, their expectations, their maps, their very canoes would do them no good. In Bolsinger's words, how do you canoe over the mountains? You don't. If you want to continue forward, you change, you adapt. And as you know, they did. They kept on course with the same goal, but changed everything to make it through uncharted territory. They ditched the canoes, they became mountain climbers, enlisted help, found horses, and moved forward. Whether you are guiding a church, a college, a community, or simply your own life, the story of the Corps of Discoveries is perhaps what Bolsinger calls the driving metaphor for our present moment in history. In every field, in every business, every organization, we know that the world in front of us is radically different from everything behind us. And I agree, in this age of global reorientation, technological disruption, and demographic convulsion, we can hold few assumptions about the future. So what do we do as leaders? As Bolsinger says, you let go, you learn as you go, and you keep going no matter what. And that is what William Jewell teaches. That is what you have claimed as critical thinking. The skills, the confidence, the commitment to let go and move forward, to navigate through uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. Not forgetting what you believe in when you face an obstacle, but doubling down on your aspirations by using the attributes you have ascribed to a Jewell critical thinker: analysis, passion, and creativity, problem solving, truth seeking, and innovation, seeing the world through a humanitarian lens. President McLeod Walls made this very point eloquently when she gave this convocation address in 2016 as she began her first academic year. In her words, the opposite of ignorance is not education, it is hope. It is a hope that people can change. It's the hope that systems can change. It's the hope that inequity will wither and justice will flourish. It is hope not simply for our present moment, but for our undiscovered future. Discovering our future, even in volatile times like these, is in fact a hopeful task. We are in an extraordinary, exciting period of innovation and creativity. Our city, our nation, our world are all hungry for new solutions, new approaches, new ideas. I have worked in civic life in Kansas City for nearly 40 years, and I have never witnessed a time of such abundant civic energy. Broad civic partnerships involving academic, business, philanthropic, and public leaders are collaboratively exploring possibilities that we could not have even imagined a few years ago. We are reshaping our cities. We are rethinking education, retooling our economy, deploying new technologies, and a lot more. But what impresses me most about our civic momentum is that those of you who are students today will be given opportunities to create, to innovate, to improve lives that will far exceed anything I have experienced in my career. In fact, you will spend most of your career in civic lives reinventing most everything people like me have merely worked to improve. You will express the ideals of your age with new definitions of what is possible because your world will expect it of you and because this college will have equipped you with the skills you need to navigate our undiscovered future. Back to summer vacation. In late July, our family spent a week in Lake Tahoe, in part to see my family in Northern California, in part to do what we like to do, hike, be on the water, be surrounded by nature. But we had uninvited guests on our vacation, and they came in the form of wildfires across the state of California and beyond. Wildfires that continue with tragic impacts, including loss of life. We spent the week in Lake Tahoe amid heavy, oppressive smoke. And even more tragic, the fires in the West are expected to intensify in coming years. The combined result of urbanization, forestry practices, and climate change. We know a lot about these individual factors, yet we've not been able to apply what we know in ways that solve the problem. Why is that? Shortly after we got back from Lake Tahoe, I heard an interview with the past president of Bennington College, Elizabeth Coleman, who offers a theory. In her words, we have this idea that scientists should figure out what's wrong with the environment, and then they hand it over to the politicians that are supposed to figure out what to do. Until the thinking and action become inseparable, we're not going to get where we need to get. Complex challenges like wildfires are not merely technical problems of urban planning, forestry management, and climate science. They are what Harvard scholars Ronald Heifetz and Marty Linsky refer to as adaptive problems. Fighting the fire itself is a technical problem. It's certainly not easy, but we can apply our existing know-how. But reducing destructive wildfires is an adaptive problem. It requires us to ask bigger questions about human systems and priorities, to find new approaches, to change our values, beliefs, and behavior. People themselves are the problem, and the solutions lie within them. Kansas City needs adaptive civic leaders, leaders who have the capacity to authentically and effectively engage with people and communities to address the big questions, leaders who can cross boundaries and embrace diverse perspectives, collaborative leaders who can inspire commitment and action, who energize and facilitate others to forge new solutions to pressing problems, from economic progress to social equity to environmental quality. When William Jewell College promises to be the indispensable producer of critical, engaged thinkers in Greater Kansas City, you are making a powerful and crucial promise. You are committing to produce the adaptive leaders this town and this world needs to address our most persistent challenges and to achieve our highest aspirations. And you have backed up your promise by enabling respected faculty and staff to bring their expertise to civic endeavors, and by giving students wide options to learn how to become adaptive leaders through active hands-on engagement. From internships to service learning to student organizations, from Journey grants to village partners, from the Prior Leadership Program to the Center for Justice and Sustainable. These are remarkable tools that are enabling students to practice leadership at the intersection of thinking and doing, to think critically and to act with purpose and impact. Critical thinking and engagement are two sides of the same coin. You cannot have either without the other. Let me return one more time to summer vacation. In addition to reading and hiking, the other thing Julie and I did this summer was to take care of our elderly parents as they have faced health problems and key transition points in their lives. And indeed, last week we lost Julie's dad, who lived 92 wonderful years. Many of you in this room have been through this. Caretaking is demanding and stressful. But beyond that, I have been surprised to learn that it is a gift, an honor really, to be entrusted with walking alongside your loved ones as they face the end of their lives. And I've been surprised to witness just how much hard work it is for our parents. It takes setting new goals, learning new skills, making tough decisions. More than that, it takes courage and grit. But what hasn't surprised me about this experience is what I have learned through my career in public service. People seldom outperform their community. Our parents' options are defined by the capacity of their systems of support, their family, their medical attention, their caretaker, their insurance. They need a community they trust. And so does pretty much everything else we care about in life. At the heart of our ability to address civic problems is a shared sense of community that generates trust and allows us to work together on common goals. I first learned this lesson during my time in Liberty. When I came to this town, civic leaders were just beginning the process of restoring the historic downtown square, and I learned quickly that success depended on a shared community vision and on building trust in each other and in civic institutions. I learned that without it, nothing can happen, but with a shared purpose and trust, almost anything can. But we have work to do. Earlier this year, our agency analyzed the results of a quality of life survey commissioned by the Kauffman Foundation. The survey asked regional citizens the following questions. Would you say that most people can be trusted, or that you can't be too careful when dealing with people? The answer, in Greater Kansas City, only about a third of residents find others worthy of their trust. It is as low as 13% among minority residents. We must work on this if we are going to move forward with our civic goals. In fact, perhaps the most important thing that you are doing on this campus is that you are nurturing the innate personal qualities, the values, maturity, and grounding that are worthy of trust. You foster the traditions, student experiences, and sense of connectedness that empower people to trust someone else. And you model the skills needed to create community amid diversity. Skills such as global awareness, cross-cultural competency, collaborative decision-making, interdisciplinary scholarship. And so as you begin this academic year, I encourage you to stay focused on what you are doing here, to stay focused on 1, building navigational skills for discovery, 2, building adaptive leadership capacity to think deeply as you act with purpose, and 3, building trust and a sense of community on campus and beyond. Kansas City, in fact, depends on this college to produce graduates with these qualities. Our employers, our civic institutions have come to rely on you as a unique and irreplaceable asset, as an essential source of the leaders we need to let go and to leap together into our future. William Jewell College is indeed indispensable. I hope you have an outstanding year.
Thank you, David, for that phenomenally inspiring talk. Students, I want to underscore something very important that he said. Kansas City needs adaptive leaders. The possibilities before you are expansive. Grab that bar. Grab that bar. David, your commitment to a better Kansas City makes it a wonderful place for our students to live and serve. Thank you so much. Guests today, thank you for helping us celebrate this new academic year and our shared vision for a stronger Kansas City. We will conclude our ceremony today with the singing of our Alma Mater, followed by the benediction offered by Reverend Dr. Jeff Busher. At the conclusion, please remain standing in place for the formal recessional. Now, let's join in singing our Alma Mater.
In benediction, receive these words from Wendell Berry. No one can discover the world for somebody else. Only when we discover it for ourselves does it become common ground and common bond, and we cease to be alone.